My parents always said Stephen didn't have the skin, but he had the soul. He was a red-headed James Brown that couldn't dance. I said he reminded me of Smokey Robinson sometimes. He said he looked like his dad, maybe. And his mom wasn't very proud of him, told him, "These are for drunks, Stephen. Stop being such a nigger. Don't you want your father to come back across that highway?" Highway 370 is a bypass highway, no, a jugular, pumping cars from black soil to green grass across the Missouri River to safety, floodplains, red brick homes and country music in a small town of people who don't look like or at me. But Stephen always made eye contact, always kept his hair trimmed low, always fought instead of ran, and never raised his hand in class. His mother called him stupid, nigger, said, "Stephen, you're a nigger." And people run from niggers, and he was white. Held on to potato chips like free lunch. She was poor, held on to Jack Daniels like her wedding ring, and she was usually right. Stephen didn't have the skin, but he had the title. And the only one who wore it better was me. My family was the first black family in Florissant. Within a month, there were 20. Within a year, 30% of Florissant had flew across the Missouri River, 370, flew across the Missouri River, and for sale signs grew faster than the grass, and he wanted, for as long as I could remember, to cut that jugular, to suffocate St. Charles, let it bleed cars into the river, and laugh that they could not fly away from him. He hated being a nigger, hated being lynched by the poverty line, hated being like me. He was my best friend. Probably because his mom said niggers need to stick together when everyone leaves. But I told him that one day, one of us would have to fly over a river, or a boundary, or a poverty line, and be the people who left us. And he wanted to cry scotch and welfare checks. And I wanted to tell him that, "Stephen, you are not a nigger. You're nothing like me. You have the soul, but not the skin. And people can't see souls sometimes. And maybe you can escape poverty and fly across that river, but I can never run from black." But I never had to say it. Because when we, 17, drove on 270 to merge onto 370 and red lights came swirling behind us, a cop asked me to step from the vehicle, asked me what my business was on this, his highway, gun in hand against jugular, pressed against my pulse saying, "Report this, I dare you, I will shoot nigger from your teeth." Leaving Stephen in the car to watch, he learned that he didn't have as much soul as I had skin. That day, he learned how to fly white, learned that he, 370, is a jugular across a river, allowing him to glide to safety safely, and learned that one of us had to be first.